Live from Joliet, Illinois, we'll welcome race fans one and all to the virtual Chicagoland Speedway, where we get set to kick off yet another race of the Off-Throttle Sim Series Xfinity Series for race number 2. Hello one and all, and welcome to Green Flag TV. My name is Oliver Empel. I've got Dylan Coyle beside me in the broadcast booth, and together we're going to be bringing you all the coverage here tonight from tonight's 150-mile, 100-lap race from a track that has not seen a whole lot of use so far over on the NASCAR calendar, not since 2018. Dylan, it's 1.5 miles. It is a track that is, of course, set quite sadly for demolition, and I think that's a big shame because I think out of all the cookie cutter mile and a halves, this is one of the ones that probably had the most character behind it.
You know, I completely agree with you, Nolan, and hello to all of our viewers here on Green Flag TV. I completely agree. Chicagoland, really unique. It's one of those old school style of cookie cutter tracks, but the most interesting thing is what we see on the backstretch. There's literally no section on this track except for maybe that short shoot run from the end of like that dogleg tri-oval portion down into turn 1 and from turn 4 to that dogleg, where you're just not turning on the wheel, right? You're always turning to the left. The backstretch is curved. That always leads to an interesting challenge, and my goodness, I wish this track would make a return on the NASCAR calendar.
It means we can see some awesome sliders being pulled right off of 1 and 2, and you're able to carry that momentum all the way down the back straightaway. No doubt, the 8 drivers that are out here on the track are going to be looking to put on a good show for us by putting on some of those moves here tonight. We looked at the championship standings entering tonight's race, and Mike Hayes runs away with a points lead. He is currently 5 points clear of Stephen Hayes, his Lone Star Racing teammate. It is then Hyper Shift Motorsports with DJ and Tyler Honeycutt to bring up 3rd and 4th. They're sitting 4 and 5 points respectively behind Stephen Hayes. Only 13 cars, of course, made the start in the initial race, and out of those 13 cars, 20 points separate the ones who factor in all the bonus points from most laps led and leading a lap into the race here tonight. It does mean, quite interestingly, that you see one of those drivers in particular, EJ Luna, tied with 4th place with Tyler Honeycutt. He was actually exiting the race 11th in the point standings, but once those bonus points factored in, well, just those few bonus points, that's enough to propel him up to 5th, which I think really puts emphasis on just how critical getting some of those bonus points can be in a race like this.
Yeah, especially when there's just so few points to kind of differentiate yourself with the rest of the field in the first place. I mean, we're talking about, 8, 11, 12 car fields and 1 point each for each of the positions, except if you win, except if you get those bonus points. That's why that's an interesting challenge, right? That we often don't see in leagues that have a high number of drivers where 1 point here, 2 points there. It's valuable, but it's not as valuable as what it could potentially be in this league.
Just 10 seconds left here in qualifying. So far, all drivers, bar one, Mark Sherwood, have put down qualifying times for us on the afternoon. So we'll get you your starting grid here in just a few seconds, and it'll be, no doubt, like we mentioned before, an exciting race coming on up for us here before too long, as we'll get set to go racing over for the Off-Throttle Sim Series Xfinity Series and their second race of their second ever season. When we go to your starting grid, it is going to be the likes here of Joey Beck starting up on pole position, just 8 thousandths of a second behind him is Lone Star Racing driver Mike Hayes. Isaac Brock brings it up for Starnes Motorsports down on road number 2 with DJ Honeycutt for Hypershift Motorsports and his number 15 starting alongside him. Johnny Honeycutt and Tyler Honeycutt bring up road number 3. It is Dwayne Honeycutt and then Mark Sherwood for Skills Motorsports, the lone Canadian in the field tonight, starting at the back in 8th place. Good to know tonight that defending champion Justin LeBlanc, he is not going to be making it to the starting call. He announced he has other commitments elsewhere. He cannot attend. So this is going to be a big blow for LeBlanc's title defense here, Dylan.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge blow, and I don't think he's going to make up the points back up. You pretty much got to race in every single race in this series to actually have a chance at the championship. There's just, even if you make a race, but you finish dead last, you're still going to get a healthy chunk of points.
The field starts to roll behind the safety car, and I agree, when you have so few drivers, every race is going to really hurt you. That's effectively now going to be seeing LeBlanc losing now possibly 50 points or 51 or more as a result of him not being here tonight. So I think for LeBlanc, it's now going to be an uphill battle throughout the duration of the season as we get set to enter our second race only of the season in a 12-race championship. And we'll talk about the schedule, what's coming up more, obviously, a bit deeper in the race here tonight. But for now, the pace car is going to be set to roll around the Chicagoland Speedway in Virtual Joy, Illinois, down the Brant back straightaway, the curved back straightaway as well. And we'll be seeing what Joy Beck in his Bass Pro Shops Track Votes number 24 Chevrolet will be able to do from the pole position, but only again by 8 thousandths over Mike Hayes. And we've seen it before. Mike Hayes, a driver that is one to contend with, as he'll be set to make the run off of turn number 4 and down to turn number 1 when we take that green flag. We're happy that you joined us here on Green Flag TV for more Thursday night racing action. Pace car pulls down and then to pit road. Green flag up in the air. We're racing in the Windy City. Look out! Mike Hayes being turned off of turn number 4. Caution is out. Hayes going to wrestle the 99 back underneath him.
Well, we've got 8 competitors in this race. You think we're going to lose one?
I don't think we will. I mean, look at Mike Hayes. Mike Hayes, excuse me. You can see the left rear is a little bent in. I think maybe some damage on the right front as well. But other than that, didn't look he was beating around all that much. Might have been a soft spin, but obviously a surprising way to kick off the race here tonight after our first race over at the Auto Club Speedway went so clean.
It is kind of crazy, isn't it? We, at Auto Club, we saw some incredible racing, maybe one spin at the very end. Don't you recall, as we see pit stops already starting to happen?
How much are you willing to bet this is for damage?
Oh, I mean, it wouldn't be for tires or fuel, right?
I'd hope not. Not on lap 1 out of 100.
Yeah, those tires really got a lot of wear on them. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I think Mike Hayes' tires at least have more wear than anybody else's does after he went for possibly a 720 spin. We'll get a look back on how this one came about as Mike Hayes. Well, I have to jump back a bit further than that, I'd imagine, to try to see if we can to see what happened. This is going to be coming off of turn number 2, so we ought to get a good run-up on this one. See, Hayes gets the driver on the outside of the 24 Joy Beck, and why don't you walk us through what happens as they run through 3 and 4?
Yeah, so looks like it's almost like a slide job, but the tires are fresh, so it's okay. Up in front, a little bit loose, a little bit of a wiggle, overcorrects, 3 cars involved, and nice 360 spin save, if you will, but that's 3 cars out of 8 with damage to start this race.
Yeah, no kidding. Again, good save, though, from Mike Hayes. We ride on board with him. You can see the 24 bob from the bottom, and around he goes.
Nah, that's not going to be too much damage.
Locks it down, fishtails a little bit to get it rolling, and then gets back into the throttle, and we're smooth sailing. That's, I think that's cold tires at work there, though.
Agreed.
From the 24, and Joey Beck obviously going to be way at the tail end of the field, so your pole sitter. Well, we talked about to see what he would be able to do from that pole position. Well, evidently, not much. Now he's going to be in exactly the polar opposite of that role, and he's going to be having to fight his way back to the front of the field. I'm curious if we have a cold track, and well, it's there a little bit, 36 degrees Celsius. We switched.
It's an
over.
average 96-degree Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
it's not gonna melt the tires, but it's also not gonna necessarily be a help to keeping the tires cool. This is probably as average as you can get for the length and the grip, the wear rate of these tires.
Yeah, not good, not great. It's passable, right? It's about as bland as you can be. So I think that's just cold tires not quite linking up. It's an old track surface too. Remember here with
talking about me on dating apps. What?
Service.
I said, are you talking about me on dating apps? Not good, not bad.
Oh boy.
Passable.
There's a reason why I'm not on any of those anymore, and I think we have the same idea there.
For sure, but we're about to go back to racing. A pretty quickie caution that we got right there. And, yeah, a lot of cars with damage starting behind.
Into the guy can restart zone. Pace car off and in. Green flag back in the air, and we are back racing here from the Chicagoland Speedway. Hopefully we'll make it a lap this time around. You can see Isaac Brock trying to fend off Tyler Honeycutt from the inside. Well, Tyler going to make his way up to the top shelf, and he's going to try to power through with teammate Donnie Honeycutt right behind him, but has to lift off. Had to jump out of the throttle as he got a bit too close and personal up with the outside wall.
They are absolutely struggling to keep these cars going straight. I wonder how this exit off of 4 is going to be. Pretty good driving right now.
Yeah, fairly solid driving from all cars involved. You saw DJ Honeycutt jump to the top shelf to get around Donnie Honeycutt in the 22, and now thinking about 3 wide, here's Joey Beck already punching his ticket back up into the top 5. A slider for Tyler Honeycutt up across the nose of DJ, and that might get Tyler Honeycutt the lead down to 3 and 4. This field still nice and tight, and we're still side by side for the race lead.
Still going 3 wide on the exit of 4 for second place. Down low on the inside, sliding a little bit, is Joey Beck in the 24. It's a Honeycutt show in the top 2, however. Half the field, Honeycutt.
I was playing around a little bit before this race, and I took away the first names. I told you good luck. Try to identify all the Honeycutts in the field, but you've got to take it up.
Yeah, you put it back. I didn't even notice.
I did put it back. DJ Honeycutt taking the lead from Tyler Honeycutt. That was down the back straightaway off of turn number 2. Got that slider going that we talked about through the opening corners. We're going to be seeing, I think, a lot of that tonight before these tires really start to wear in.
You know, the really beautiful thing, and we say this all the time about this series, these drivers are close in with each other in terms of skill level, in terms of raceability. I mean, through qualifying, we saw the top 4, the first half of the field, within 600ths of each other. That's pretty impressive.
I agree, and I think that really, again, speaks to just how competitive this small little field is, and you can tell they're still racing each other just as hard as if it was the final lap of the race, with Mike Hayes now charging on the bottom lane. Mike Hayes, that went for the 360 spin. He's going to power through and now pick up the race leads. We've got now about our 5th different leader of the night and about as many green flag laps as Mike Hayes going to take one away in the 99. Now the question is, with how dominant Mike Hayes was over just 1 week ago, is this going to be where you see that 99 car start to run away, or is Joey Beck, who's now up to 2nd, going to close in?
You know, I think we're just going to see some consistent driving at this point in terms of some good fighting with all of these drivers. Now we're single file for the first time all race. You don't really see that at a cookie cutter track. By the way, we're 10% of the way in.
Already 10 down, 90 to go as Mike Hayes keeps trying to fend off Joey Beck for that race lead. You see Isaac Brock taking a very diamond line, running that 2nd groove of the racetrack, and that's going to give him some momentum as the 24 bobbles off of turn number 2. Here comes Isaac Brock, going to give the bumper to the back end of Joey Beck, and I think bounced off the outside wall himself. So that's going to cause now Beck to drop down the field or the order for just a moment, and Joey Beck is certainly struggling with grip, and you got to wonder if maybe there might be something else going on inside that 24 car.
I mean, look at his rear bumper right now. That's certainly not going to help with anything in terms of getting that grip coming from behind. That thing is crunched in.
I think Isaac Brock didn't do that back bumper any favors last time by down the back straightaway. He got a press contact.
No!
Oh, into the wall.
He's still trying to hold on to it. That car is toast.
Well, if he didn't have damage on the front end before, he certainly does now. The whole right side scratched up now. He's going to fall all the way down to 8th as a result of that hip check down at the turn number 2. And turn number 3 and down the back straightaway. We'll get a look on this one here as they came down the back straightaway. Watch as the 7 car is going to track up into the tracker boats. Number 24, I'm not quite sure that's what they had in mind when they slapped that coming on the side of the door. Just pulls up the track and didn't leave a whole lot of room for Beck to go there.
Not at all. Obviously, the 7 came up a little bit. Yeah, the 24 is that speed is gone from that car, and he's still sliding, trying to get that car rotated around. Oh boy, this is going to be a long rest of the race for him.
Certainly will. A bit further up the field, Mark Sherwood and Donnie Honeycutt are starting to run nose to tail. You see Sherwood running back in that 6th position now with Donnie Honeycutt up in the 5th spot. And at the moment, the close fight on track, sitting just under 0.2 of a second as the number 44 continues to try to reel in the 22. Sherwood up 2. He was the only driver that did not qualify for today's race. Wanted to start from the back. And so far, he's looking set to try to pull away with the top 5.
It is not the most difficult task to do.
In an 8-car field.
Well, it's interesting, right? Like, top 5 almost means nothing because you're going to be 4 points back. Every point is so magnified. That win means more in this series than the series if you had 20 more cars.
I would certainly agree with you on that one, and I think that's, again, going to kind of up the aggression. I think that's why we're seeing such high aggression in some of these races, even though it is such a small field, right? Because these little points, they mean so much more when you have a small grid like this, because there's not near as many points that your opponents can lose. So as mentioned for you, you're always going to score well, but so is everybody around you. So you have to always make sure that you can be on your A game, otherwise you're not going to be able to have necessarily a fun time with things. And you got one car way down onto the apron. I think that's Isaac Brock that had trouble off of turn number 2, and here goes Tyler Honeycutt going to rip around the outside.
Yeah, Brock just got loose off of turn 2, just your typical too much rotation in the Xfinity car kind of thing. So he's going to drop, obviously, that 1 position. And right now, Michael Hayes pulling away. Just test laps for him. We'll get the replay. Look at that. The spooling machine.
Oh, wow, no kidding. Kicking that back end out off of 2 and ripping down to the apron again, though.
Great job saving it.
Yeah, very well. Hell, that's our 2nd big save of the night. I still think, though, Mike Hayes takes the cake, especially since Hayes is now up and into that race lead by over 2 seconds.
I mean, could you imagine if the caution came out?
Oh,
yeah, to destroy that. By the way,
don't tempt fate.
Don't tempt fate. Update on Joey Beck. Yeah, that car's toast. He's 4 seconds almost back. He's still struggling. He's almost... yeah, that car's toast.
You can pull up the lap times and see just how much he's been dropping back. He's been losing at least half a second every single lap consistently. So that car is no pace anymore. You can even hear where he's having to lift out the throttle.
He's pulling off.
Yeah, I think he kind of came to the same conclusion as we did right there, as he's going to bring that car down to pit road. I think that's going to be game over for the night then for Joey Beck. Did he already use his fast repair in that wreck on lap 1 is the question.
Huh. Well, I don't think there is a fast repair in this series. Yeah, 0.
There was 1. I might be thinking something else, though.
It might be because according to like the session info, it's saying that there are 0 fast repair limits. So he's just he's toast. And
uh-oh. Okay, Mark Sherwood.
Yeah, Mark's been having some.
There. I thought he just dropped out for a moment.
Mark's been having some problems lately with as he almost gets up into the wall with some blinking issues and all that. So if you're Dwayne Honeycutt, maybe you're not the most excited or energized as Joey Beck. Not sure exactly what he's doing, if he's just sitting in pit road, but he's not getting any tires changed. It doesn't look like anything's happening there, but
well, he's not in the car,
maybe he's just,
so
he's just spectating. He's just spectating right now. So it's a race of 7 cars. 5 seconds separate them all.
There running down the back straightaway with 1/5 of the distance complete in your second race in the OTSS Xfinity Series here from virtual Joliet, Illinois. In this little battle pack here, it starts up at Isaac Brock and then goes all the way back to DJ Honeycutt, Donnie Honeycutt, Mark Sherwood, and Dwayne Honeycutt. Tyler Honeycutt, 1.2 seconds up the road from Isaac Brock, and for there, you can see it on the timing ticker, 2.5 seconds almost up to Mike Hayes in the race leads. You got first, second, and then you got everybody else. Oh, hello, Isaac Brock, loose again off of turn 2.
And he's going to get swallowed up here. Yeah, that's 7. Not handling the way he would hope. It's got, of course, some damage in the rear right, which is going to affect that air pushing on that rear right to almost stop it from over-rotating.
And he's going to drop all the way from 3rd back to that 6th position. Still has Dwayne Honeycutt to lose out to, and it looks like he will. And hello, Joy Beck. Back on the racetrack. 4 laps down, but better 4 than an 80-plus that he would have been had he opted to just
He's
retire
still
the car.
struggling.
I think he brought it in enough to get some damage fixed, and that was about it. And I think at this point, he's going to hope for a caution, so some more drivers might take themselves out and get some free spots that way.
Fair enough. As he's really sending it in deep. Oh, boy. Couldn't quite see it on screen, but Brock and Beck, they're fighting with each other right now.
Man, that might be because, remember, Joy Beck, I think, might have fresh tires now. He might be getting up to speed. He does have fresh tires, and this time he's going to slam the door shut on the numbers 7 through 3 and 4.
A bit naughty there.
Just a touch when you're a lap car that's 4 down.
Remember, they were 2 cars involved in that first lap incident.
Apart from Mike Hayes. Beck and, oh, what's that Brock, the other car that was involved? I think it may very. Oh no, I think it might have been DJ Honeycutt. Because I think you can see some damage on the left front there of DJ Honeycutt's car. We'll go on board, and you can see right there the front end all crumpled in when he got put into the wall.
They are racing hard right now in the mid pack,
They really
and Joey Beck is. I'm just worried he's gonna get a little bit loose in front of these competitors. Like, let's talk physics for a second. Nolan, when the car is turning left, which side of the car is over-rotating?
That would be the right.
The rear quarter panel, excuse me, is the most overexposed. When it's overexposed, the air pushes back on it and keeps it stable. That's called aerodynamic grip.
I want to
now
that that's about as far as my physics knowledge goes.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't have a degree in any of this.
Well, think about it this way. It's pushing on the right side of the car, which in turn keeps it stable. So the 15 gets way up high. And when there's not as much right side of the car, right quarter panel, the air isn't pushing back on it, so it's almost not acting as a parachute to keep it from over-rotating.
Food for thought for the physics degrees that may be watching on with this one. And I think some food for thought for drivers like DJ Honeycutt and obviously Joey Beck that might have some form of damage on their race cars. I don't think DJ Honeycutt's got to worry about that too much. I think he's more having to worry about understeer rather than oversteer. All his damage, of course, being on the front end. You see Mark Sherwood.
You don't.
You don't see Mark Sherwood trying to see
now
Mark
you
Sherwood
see him?
as he tries to get by DJ Honeycutt. You saw him right there, bobbled off a 2, had the air taken off him for the 15, and that's what allows DJ Honeycutt to get that drive back down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Sherwood again came up a little bit. He's getting a bit tight and moving up the track throughout the corner. He's losing that time there. Good battle right now for the final podium position.
I'd even say this is down for 4th. Donnie Honeycutt in the 22 is starting to pull away from all these drivers. He's a good 7/10 clear now, whereas the drivers behind him, they're only separated by about 1/3 of a second total. So this is a fight for 4th on Batno, so the final spots in and around the top 5. And just for curiosity's sake, I do want to going to jump back real quick here to that lap 1 incident one more time, and we'll see who was the other car collected. It was DJ Hunka. You see the 24 bobble, and there was the 15 being put into the wall. And Beck actually managed to go to avoid that, which it makes sense. He was, of course, the driver that took the race lead on that.
The fact that Mike Hayes went for a 360 and went right back into the lead, really impressive.
I agree, especially so quickly. We talk about, obviously he got some fresh tires, I'd imagine, under the pit cycle, but you wouldn't think that one lap fresh rubber had everything to play in that, and I don't think it did. I think that's partially just to do with just how skilled of a driver Mike Hayes is.
Skilled he is. There's a lot of skilled guys in this race, but I'm surprised that Mike Hayes and Tyler Honeycutt have pulled so far in front.
I would agree. They have both pulled an astronomical gap out compared to everything but a hind, as Mark Sherwood throwing it in and preventing DJ Honeycutt from even able to come down the racetrack, but in doing so, cost himself momentum and time. I think he was hoping to maybe scare the 15 back up into the wall. It's happened a couple times already where DJ Honeycutt's been pressured into a mistake, most notably in turn 1, where he will scrape up along the outside wall, but so far, DJ Honeycutt kicking in the back end now. Give the run to Sherwood. He's going to charge around the outside line. I think that's going to be 4th place secure. DJ Honeycutt now falls another spot to 5th. And for the first time all race long, DJ Honeycutt is minus positions gained on the boards.
Wow. Tyler Honeycutt has moved up 4 spots. He is the second, tied for second, I think you could say, biggest mover in the race. Mark Sherwood also, well, tied for second. Tied for first, I should say, biggest mover in the race. With Mark Sherwood, who has moved from 8th to 4th. The biggest loser is the driver who started position number 1, Joey Beck, but unfortunately that was his own doing.
Now runs 3 laps down. He's taking 1 lap back. DJ Honeycutt, the first driver to make a call to pit road, and at 36 laps in, I have to feel here, Dylan, this is a scheduled pit stop. We're going to be seeing everybody else starting to make runs down to pit road before too long. As the other battles on track start to sort themselves out, DJ Honeycutt was really one of the ones that was holding these fights together by kind of holding up drivers in this train. Now, though, if that's not happening, the closest pairing going to be Donnie Honeycutt and Mark Sherwood, I believe. They're running, of course, 3rd and 4th, and that was a result of this battle.
Nolan, he just destroyed his strategy right there.
DJ Honeycutt?
Absolutely.
Do tell.
How many more miles in this race does he have left?
I don't know that kind of math with miles.
That's
I can tell you he's got, oh my gosh, I can barely do this. I can tell he's got 63 laps left.
Okay, well, it's 63 times 1.5.
I'm going to get my calculator, hang on.
I'm waiting.
Oh, you're going to time me on this one, are you? Where is my calculator?
Oh, yeah.
I can't even find the calculator on this phone now.
You can just say it's like 95 miles.
Is it 95 miles?
Well, try to do 60 times 1.5. That's easier. It equals 90. It's 90. It's 94.5, I think.
Oh my goodness, he's close to the outside wall.
He really was.
Into it. All
Let's
right,
just say 80 to 85 miles is the most that a car can go in a full tank of fuel.
93 miles. I got it. It's 62 laps to go for him now. He's got 93 miles left. Final answer.
Doesn't have enough to make it.
Well, it's, I don't think, remember, they have fuel tank limitations, and we had a couple of pit stops at the Auto Club Speedway, so I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a 2-stopper from a lot of drivers in this field, unless somebody can find a way to stretch it out.
You know what? That makes sense. That made sense. I was highly critical of him.
I think
if
oh, hello, Isaac Brock into the infield grass on the front straightaway. So Brock still having handling issues with his number 7 Chevrolet.
Just taking a stroll.
I think doing a little bit more than taking a stroll. And the groundskeeper might want to have a word with him for the Chicagoland Speedway after that one. But again, very well held, all things considered.
Yeah, honestly, that was really impressive right there. As we see the timing for the battle for third, Donnie Honeycutt is losing that time to Mark Sherwood. Sherwood going up high. He has had a unique race so far where I don't feel like he's necessarily shown that he can be consistently fast because he is making a lot of mistakes, getting really aero tight. But he's got that one lap speed.
He's been consistently quicker than Donnie Honeycutt at least, and at the end of the day, you only need to be consistently quicker than the first car in front of you. Worry
Not
about
wrong.
the next one afterwards. You can see that gap has closed down 9/10 of a second down to just 2. That was from laps 35 to 41. Did lose a few thousandths of a second on lap 41 there, but I think at this point it's because he's hit that draft bubble, right? Now he's starting to hit that dirty air of running right into Donnie Honeycutt's wake when you enter these corners. He has to back out just a touch more.
Yeah, again, the air and the pushing on the right quarter panel and all that, it only really makes sense and works when you're in clean air. When you're in dirty air, it's so tumultuous. You don't know exactly around the corner how that car is going to be affected. You just know it's going to turn worse as he's going to maybe go for a slider underneath. Thought against it.
You and me both. We both thought he was about to make an attempt when he made that little look. Oh, it might have scared Donnie Honeycutt, though, as Donnie Honeycutt having to pedal it on the exit of turn number 2. Here comes Sherwood with the overspeed now, but won't be close enough because I think Sherwood had to back out to avoid the opposite problem, understeer towards the outside wall. So now I think we've reached unstoppable force meets immovable object as Sherwood, the driver that's gained the most spots out of anybody, bar Tyler Honeycutt, who runs in second. He's really getting on Donnie Honeycutt's nerves. He is not leaving that Cabela's Toyota Supra alone.
Good battling here, though. It's definitely something we want to see. But you know who is right behind? DJ Honeycutt, who is a lap down, but on fresher tires.
On fresher tires, and he's going to unlap himself with these two drivers. I'd imagine this lap here. Isaac Brock, meanwhile, he comes down to pit road, so that's our second driver to come down just prior to halfway. Here comes DJ Honeycutt, throws it to the inside of Mark Sherwood, and he's going to try to go 2 for 2 on the exit of turn number 2. And just like that, Honeycutt, one of them, DJ Honeycutt, is through. Joey Beck.
Yeah, you got to say the first name there, bud.
Really, we should just call him by the first names at this point. Joey Beck will be the next driver to hit pit road. Of course, though, he is rather off cycle, 4 laps down.
We're almost halfway through this race, by the way.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Not everybody is having fun in the server right now, and I can tell you that a driver named Joey Beck, who's back in the pits, is not having fun.
One driver, I think, that is not on the lead, that won't be on the lead lap once all the pit stops end up cycling through. Scheduled stop for Beck, 14.5 in the box and 41.7 total in the lane as he hightails it back off towards turn number 1. Now 5 down as he leaves pit road. We're still keeping tabs on this Donnie Honeycutt and Mark Sherwood battle for third, as this is not even the close fight. It is the only fight on the racetrack right now, and it is showing signs of going nowhere anytime soon.
That is better for us.
Again, it gives us something to talk about, just like we've mentioned so many times before.
Tyler Honeycutt into pit road. This could be interesting. An undercut, and he was catching up to Mike Hayes.
So Tyler Honeycutt opted to go for an undercut strategy, I think, to avoid being caught up in the wake, as he's going to pull down into pit road, and we'll see what's going to come about of this that fight for that second position. Mark Sherwood still playing tricks on me, but now side by side with Donnie Honeycutt. So Sherwood finally making the move around the outside of 3 and 4, and he's got that momentum. Look at the Larson line, and well, that makes a bit more sense. Donnie Honeycutt going to take it to pit road and almost lose the back end of the process.
I was... Nolan, you got really excited there for a pit stop entry.
I really, look, I thought it was a pass.
I know,
okay?
I know.
They say put as much effort in as any event that goes in on the racetrack.
Yeah, no,
You're
right about that.
It breaks up the monotony of a race like
You're
this.
totally right, and I think having the limited fuel cells is definitely a big thing that comes into play as well. At Auto Club, remind me this: who made that undercut, or who made that really long overcut that ended up hurting him?
I don't know, actually. I'll have to come back and check in with you on that one.
Reason I ask is because Mike Hayes, I think, is doing the same thing again.
He's confirmed able to make it on a one-stopper as he makes it on lap 51. That's halfway. You can make 51 laps. You can pedal at 51. You're going to be fine, as Mark Sherwood. Whoa! He's going to slide down the pit road.
Wow.
That's a penalty, no doubt about it. No way he made it.
Might as well keep speeding at this point.
Yeah, way too wide. He might even get an unsafe pit entry from that, as he was way out by the commitment line.
That looked like an all-star pit challenge entry.
Chicagoland Speedway is one of the very few racetracks that does genuinely have a commitment line, right? That you do have to meet. That's not the speed limit start line. If you're too far out, it will hit you for an unsafe pit entry. I think that was wide enough out to warrant that, and I think the stop and hold tells volumes as he's been in the pit road for 20 seconds and counting.
I wonder how long the stop and go is.
I think it's a one-lap hold.
Yikes!
There goes the one battle we had on the racetrack.
Yikes!
Waiting on Dwayne Honeycutt and Mike Hayes. I think those are the only two drivers now that have yet to come down to pit road. DJ Honeycutt still is
Dwayne is going in.
He's not on lap stop from the lead, but I'd be surprised as well if Dwayne Honeycutt didn't come in, and sure enough, here he goes. And Mike Hayes has got DJ Honeycutt right behind him now. So expecting Mike Hayes to come down in the pit road. I think DJ Honeycutt is going to cycle through as the race leader here.
Yeah.
Dwayne Honeycutt's still in pit road. He's going to go a lap down here. And Mike Hayes, it's about a 40-second pit delta. 30 seconds to lap this place.
Yeah, don't know what to tell you. I'm going to look back to double check, but...
He's trying to run that tank dry is what it looks like for Mike Hayes at the moment, as he'll take you to lap 54 and still showing no signs of slowing his pace. And will it be to pit road that potentially this time through? Down on the lower side of the racetrack, but it is not an entry. He's going to stay on the racetrack for lap 55, and here comes DJ Honeycutt now looking to unlap himself and get back onto the lead lap. And doing so, he will, coming around through turn numbers 1 and 2.
So it was Stephen Hayes who was
also not here this weekend.
Right, and he was leading Mike throughout most of the first half of the race at Auto Club. And as Mike Hayes is coming into pit lane, too hot.
Oh, yeah, way too wide. Slow it down, slow it down. I think you made the commitment line and you made pit road as well. I think he lost time on the entry. He was way too hot on the entry. You can tell he lost a bunch of time there with how wide of a line he had to take.
He just pulled what his brother did at Auto Club with bad overcut strategy. His brother, it stalled out at the end of the race and he couldn't catch up, more than 2.5 seconds behind, you know?
Now the big question is, can DJ Honeycutt make it to the end? Because remember, he's been on lap 35. If he can't make it, that cycles Tyler Honeycutt through as the net race leader.
Wow, wow, wow. DJ in the lead. Tyler passing Mike Hayes right now. Donnie about to pass him. It is a Honeycutt show.
Honeycutt's and Hypershift Motorsports running 1, 2, potentially 3, as Donnie Honeycutt trying to beat Mike Hayes out of pit road, and he did not get there. Mike Hayes
but he's got the heat in his tires. I think it'll be a fairly easy.
Though, if Hayes can get these tires up to speed here this next lap, he could fend him off here with the fresh rubber by a good 12 laps. Which,
not wrong.
Not 12 laps, sorry, 7 laps, which does make a huge difference at 1.5 miles like this.
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, I've got nothing else to add there. You're right.
Oh, yeah, you can already tell he is pulling away for the 22. So Mike Hayes, he's able to make it out in third. He is now about 4 seconds behind Tyler Honeycutt, who we believe is the net race lead if our fuel okay, I'm not gonna take credit for that. If Dylan's fuel calculations about DJ Honeycutt are correct. And it's worth noting that DJ Honeycutt is also losing time as he is lost. He pitted about 7 laps later than Tyler Honeycutt. He's lost almost a second this lap alone.
I mean, that all depends upon if there is a fuel tank, a fuel percentage.
We know there's a restriction of some sort. I know that much.
It depends what the restriction is.
Yes, I think that's the big one here on this one. So I will do some digging into the rule book here. I'm hoping it would be in said rule book. I can't imagine, though, why it would not be.
We have had situations in specific series where the rule book didn't explain nearly as much as we needed.
Indeed. We've had that before, and it's not necessarily ideal, but you work with what you get, right? I think that's kind of something good to note. I cannot find the fuel restrictions, if there are any, in this rule book.
Yeah. Joey has left the server, by the way.
I'm not surprised in that one, as I think it's safe to say there's not going to be a cause coming anytime soon. Tyler Honeycutt has caught DJ Honeycutt for the lead, and he is going to try to pull for the lead. Coming around the front straightaway and across the start-finish line, Tyler Honeycutt, new race leader for the number 3 for the game stop. Toyota Supra. Wow. Mike Hayes, meanwhile, fast lap of the
Chevrolet
race. Chevrolet
Supra.
Yeah, Hayes 31.4. Hayes is turning up the wake. He wants to go after Tyler Honeycutt for that lead.
I, too, like watching your iRacing stuff.
I'm trying to find this fuel limit. There is no fuel limit. There is no fuel limitation. You were right. There is no fuel limitation.
Then DJ is not making it to the end.
I was confusing it with something else. So it is a full tank of fuel that these guys can have, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, even if it wasn't 100%, it would have been worse off, but he still could have done it in one pit stop. Everybody else can go to the end of this race. He can't.
Yeah. I think he pitted I think he was trying to go over the really big undercut, but even that, it didn't work, right? Because, I mean, look at him. He's already fallen back to 3rd. Even if he couldn't pit, he's going to be off pace the rest of this race. He might fall all the way back to 5th before this race is over, even if he could go to the end.
Oh, he slides. Heck, he could go back to 6th or 7th. Because he has to go into the pits.
He last pitted on lap 35. When do you reckon he'll be coming on down to pit for his final stop then? That's going to put him effectively a lap down.
I mean, again, I'll do the math. I got to do the math. Give 55 laps. When I think it's around a 55 to. I think this is way too much, but like a 60 lap. 60 laps is probably you're out of fuel, but 55 laps I think is around that upper echelon, the upper limit of how much you can run. And when do you go into the pits?
Between Honeycutt and Hayes here, is that gap really crumbling as well?
What lap did DJ go into the pits again?
That would be lap 35, as Dwayne Honeycutt, speaking of Honeycutt's pitting, or is down to pit road for his second time of the night.
Yeah, he's going to be anywhere between 5 to 10 laps, if not more, short.
Mike Hayes has caught Tyler Honeycutt. He will make the move out of turn 4, and that'll put the 99 car back up on top as Mike Hayes will start to thunder away down to turn number 1 and the 3 of Tyler Honeycutt. Going to drop back to 2nd. We kind of expected this to happen as Hayes, he was the last driver to pit, has the fresh tires out of anybody. He's going to absolutely go romping away with that lead now. But Donnie Honeycutt looks to bump DJ off of the podium.
This race is going by very quickly. With lap 67 underway, we're a third of the way through it.
2/3.
We're a third of the way to go through it.
Give recovery. I'll allow it.
Good, good. Yeah, same cadence and the delivery was the same too. But yeah, 1/3 of the way to go. I mean, I don't see anything really changing in terms of positions.
I think at most DJ Honeycutt, in terms of overall pace, falls back to Isaac Brock, but they've still got 16.4 seconds between them, so even that might be a bit of a far cry once these tires start to kind of wear in a bit more. Everybody gets on some slightly more even footing, but other than that, I agree. We're only going to be seeing change-ups in the running order from other pit stops that are at this point going to be unexpected, say for DJ Honeycutt, who we're still expecting to come down again at some point, or we're going to be seeing a caution later in this race. And we'll speed the devil. There it goes. DJ Honeycutt down to pit road, almost exactly the same number of laps as he did for his first stint. So he was on a planned 2-stop strategy, 35 and 70, almost even.
I don't know if the time he loses in pit lane that second time is going to be made up by an additional pair of fresh stickers.
I agree. If he goes a lap down, it's over, and here comes Mike Hayes off of turn number 4, and I think that's it. DJ Honeycutt's strategy is kind of in the gutter at this point.
You know, it's not horrible to try it, right? It's not like you're going to lose that many spots.
Yeah. He's gonna lose, I think, one more at the most. He's got Isaac Brock, who's just gone around him. He's gonna lose that to Mark Sherwood as well, so he's down to 6th now. So he might be able to catch up to Sherwood, but after that, I don't think he's gonna be able to get much more out of that.
He'll get Brock.
You think? They're on different laps now.
I think they'll. Oh.
Yeah, Isaac Brock's at 1 and 2. DJ Honeycutt just out of pit road. I don't think he's gonna even get Isaac Brock at this point.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. Maybe he'll catch Brock. Maybe. That is such a big maybe.
We'll put a pin in it.
If you love it, then you should have put a pin on it.
We got 30 laps left to go in the second race of the OTSS Xfinity Series. 4.5 seconds at the moment separate Tyler Honeycutt from Donnie Honeycutt, and it is 3 seconds up to the race lead. DJ Honeycutt reeling in Mark Sherwood. That is the close fight on the track at the moment of just 2.7 seconds apart. We're going to take a quick jump back. We're back with the final laps of your second race from Joliet, Illinois here in just a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Still under green flag conditions, coming to 20 laps to go from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway here in Joliet, Illinois. If you're just joining us, welcome to the show. My name is Ol Rempel with Dylan Coyle beside me in the broadcast booth. We've had only a single caution so far today, and it was when Joey Beck lost control on the opening lap of this race and slid up, putting DJ Hunting under the wall, sending current race leader Mike Hayes for a 360 spin. Other than that, it has been completely green from here on out. I think at this point, Dylan, it's a good time as any to kind of look at what tracks we got for us on the schedule. And next week is where it gets interesting, right? Short track racing, the Richmond Raceway. A short track that is so notorious for being a nightmare to pass at, especially if you've got only a few cars on the racetrack that we've had so far all season.
Well, you know what helps when it comes to difficulty in passing? Being in the lead.
Or the chrome horn.
Or the chrome horn. You're definitely right there.
Oh,
yeah.
Hello! Isaac Brock loops it off of turn number 4, and he's going to
he's
bring
off
that
track.
car to pit road. Yeah, no caution off the course. So Brock into the lane. He was already coming to pit road, and he just, I think, kind of wheel hopped the back end coming in. Thought about going forward there, he saw that.
He'll join Dwayne and Joey, who were just chilling in the pits right now.
As we were just mentioning before, the chrome horn. It's one of those situations where you don't need to pass somebody if you just knock them out of the way.
Easier said than done.
You just put your foot to the floor. I'm not saying your car is going to be clean when you do it, but
right?
you can do it.
You know what takes art?
Bumping something without spinning them on iRacing?
I was going to more say what Matt Kenseth did to Joey Logano. That took skill. At Martinsville.
To wait, I guess.
And then it took skill to just keep it in the throttle and say, I think I got a tire going down.
Is it weird that I find that to be one of the most uninteresting, anticlimactic intentional wrecks or slash retaliations I've ever seen in real NASCAR? I understand it's a
my
huge deal.
favorite one.
Oh no,
my!
don't get me wrong. I love the story behind it, but like the way it actually the way it looks, just going straight and neither car actually fully spinning out. It looks so anticlimactic. I would have much loved it if
I disagree. I love the fact that as right after it happened, you got the fans going crazy. You got Joey's car just destroyed and crumpled up.
Trying to get going, no doubt as well.
Right, of course. My goodness, that was that's one of my favorite ones, man.
Good times.
Good times indeed.
Well, good times if you're a Kenseth fan. Maybe not so much if you're a Logano fan. Although,
well,
I still have yet to meet a genuine Logano fan, so I think that says a thing or two right there.
My aunt's best friend is his cousin.
Oh. Remind me
my mom's
not
sister's
to visit,
brothers.
You then, if I ever go back down to the States and fly out eastward.
I've met his cousin once. Not visit me because I work in the sport or anything.
Oh, of course.
just because Joey's, you know, cousin is my aunt's best friend.
It's been so far so a calm race. As you ride on board, you heard right there a little bit of, again, some tire squeal going on the racetrack, showing that tire wear still settling in, but I don't think enough. Now we're going to see these spots change. I mean, again, closest fight at the moment between Tyler Honeycutt and Donnie Honeycutt, but that's 5.8 seconds. From there, you've got at least double digits of the second counter before you get back to anybody else that's in a fight with one another.
You and I have been really impressed with how this series has been when it comes to racing each other hard with smaller packs.
It's just a shame that Mark Sherwood botched his pit entry, because that kind of eliminated one of the few fights we actually had on the racetrack.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Mike Hayes 8 seconds up. Lapped everyone except 2 other cars. Goodness me.
And even he's still got some of that damage from the lap 1 incident, right? You can see that the crumpled left rear, that was from when Joey Beck tagged him coming off of turn number 4 when he got loose and walked it up the racetrack.
Well, like I said, the side that keeps you from over-rotating is that right side. The left side's kind of blocked off when you're turning, so there's not much aero dependency on it. I mean, mechanical grip could be an issue, could have been an issue if it affected some parts of the kart, but I think he was hit in the best possible spot.
Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, right? You want to hit somebody, hit him in the left rear, does the least amount of damage, and from there, just kind of roll on with what you got. So I think at the moment, Mike Hayes still doing a good job. He's not gaining a whole lot at this point, but he doesn't really need to, does he? I mean, he's what, 8.6 seconds clear? That's about at least half a straightaway. But Mike Hayes, unless he hits a wall, he is going to be smooth sailing to the end with 9 to go.
It's kind of been smooth sailing already, you know?
Fair enough. Fair enough. A previous statement retracted.
No, just added on to.
At the moment is Mike Hayes, Tyler Honeycutt, Donnie Honeycutt, all still on the lead lap. DJ Honeycutt, first car lap down in 4th after he botched his pit strategy. Same with Mark Sherwood when he botched his pit entry. Rounded out the top 5. Isaac Brock, the last driver running, 2 down into 7. And again, he had to make a second stop, but again, he actually pulled a bit of both. He got DJ Honeycutt's bad strategy and Mark Sherwood's pit entry kerfuffles, blended them both together to put himself another lap down. Got the Richmond Raceway obviously coming on up next week. The week after that, we're going to be swinging it on over to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I do believe this is going to be the freshly repaved Atlanta Motor Speedway, not the old 2008 layout like we saw in the Dukes of Hazzard 100 in the TNGG IEL Truck Series just this past Saturday. Then, of course, we go to the Turkey Triangle with the Keystone State, the Pocono Raceway. We finish out our first half of the season at the Martinsville Speedway for a 275-lap affair on May 18th. It's going to be a long night of racing when we get down to Martinsville, and I think that's going to be a true test of driver endurance.
Did you know that Pennsylvania is technically not the state?
What do you mean, not the state?
It is not a state.
Really?
It is a commonwealth.
Oh, I'm not even going to bother acknowledging that I even heard that, because your states
you
are
better
confusing
acknowledge
enough
it.
as it is.
Okay, that's fair.
Look,
that's
I'm
fair.
Canadian. Okay?
You've got territories and provinces, all right?
Hey, we've got 3 territories, and they're basically provinces.
I don't want to hear none of it.
Nunavut? Yeah, Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and Yukon. Yukon's just fun to say. And they got a great capital city as well, Yukon Whitehorse.
You can't tell me that much about it. I don't want to hear none of it.
And I am going to now eject Dylan Coyle for the broadcast for making that horrendous pun. My goodness, that was a new level.
You ever hear a new level of horrible?
I've heard puns before, but that sounded like you just thought it up and spat it out there without even thinking. Like you just tweeted something at 3 a.m.
How'd you get into my head?
Because we have the same head. I like to think that we've just got like a combination of about maybe 12 brain cells that we just kind of rebound back and forth when we're up.
So, what are we talking about?
We were talking about
3 to go.
Pennsylvania being a commonwealth. That led to provinces. That led to this. And again, meanwhile, Mike Hayes, again, now 10 seconds clear, 3 laps to go. So still just doesn't know when to back off, does he?
I mean, might as well show your strength. You know what would be incredible right now? A yellow.
I agree. Do you think we're going to get one?
I mean, there would only be, what, 4 drivers after the lucky dog on the lead lap?
The one time we actually would like the commentator's curse, but and the
caution would be horrible.
You know what?
Caution would be horrible. I don't want to see the pace car whatsoever. I want it to be green the whole way.
You know, the season opened at the racetrack, it got called off at my local track because it was too cold. We couldn't get heat into the track for drag race. And I didn't even commentate that to call it. It just happened. That's how bad my luck's been so far this year. We take the white flag, so caution or not, wreck or not, we're going green to the end as Mike Hayes takes that one to go signal. Just over a mile to go. He's going to run through turn numbers 1 and 2. Down the Brandt back straight away for the final time. It has again been a clinic put on by the number 99. He'll come off at turn number 4, and it is one Mike Hayes to take victory at the Chicagoland Speedway. Could you have predicted that this was going to happen?
Yes.
I think yes. You beat me to it.
Yes.
I think the answer to that question would be yes. We all thought that was going to happen, and sure enough, it comes true once again here today as he is going to make his victory lap, and we'll get set to take you through your official post-race results as what a race that we've seen here tonight for the Chicagoland Speedway. A very tame one compared to what we had over at the Auto Club Speedway, but I would say still overall a good race nonetheless. It is going to be the likes of Mike Hayes to take the race win as he burns it down to the front straightaway. Tyler Honeycutt for Hypershift Motorsports brings it up in second. Donnie Honeycutt will round out your podium. DJ Honeycutt picks it up at fourth. Mark Sherwood is fifth with Isaac Brock sixth. He was the last driver to finish this race. Dwayne Honeycutt and Joey Beck rounding out your 8-car field from race number 2. As a look at your official post-race results as Mike Hayes is burning it down on the front straightaway, and he's going to blow that motor up, and hopefully that means we're going to be able to get a chit-chat here with your race winner at the end of the night. As well as that, you've also got your race winner, your second and third place driver standing by. And since I think Mike Hayes still in his debrief stage, we'll start from the bottom, we'll work our way up. We'll start things off with Donnie Honeycutt joining us up here, third place on the podium here in this one. And Donnie, a very tame race overall, but after DJ's mishaps on his pit strategy, you find yourself at that third step on the podium.
Yeah, it's not the race we wanted, but hey, third place is a third place, I guess. But unfortunately, you have a couple of them that had some hit mishaps, and I just took advantage of what was out there ahead of me.
Just kind of walk us through this race for you here in this one, and tell us what it's like out there when you get more of these hot lapping sessions out here with these races. Obviously, if for you it was a long race tonight, but you still managed to walk away with some decent points despite being a bit of no man's land all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. Points is always good, but yeah, the track was okay, but after about 20 laps, you really started getting loose there on our first run, really bad. Second run, it's like it kind of like tightened up a little bit. So I don't know if the track was cooling off or what was going on there, but it definitely didn't feel as loose. Every time I tried to overdrive it just a little bit, then I would lose a little bit more time to Tyler and Michael Hayes, but didn't have anything for them. And no matter what I tried, I was moving to every lane, something different every lap, I think, and nothing worked for me.
We look up next week to the Richmond Raceway. We swing up to Virginia, our first short track race of the season. What's going to be the game plan as we get set to go racing down at our first track that's under a mile in length?
Yeah, as always, we're gonna try to survive, but hopefully we have a good practice and good qualifying there and start up front and hopefully stay out of trouble. But other than that, pit strategy, you just don't ever know what's gonna happen there. You can have a little bit more accidents or cautions than you would do at other places at bigger tracks. But hopefully we have a little bit bigger field at, for Richmond. But we had a couple guys on vacation this week that couldn't make it, and a couple other ones that usually show up that had other obligations. But hopefully we'll put on a better show next week. So I know this one's kind of a snooze fest.
Well, we'll let you guys obviously get back to planning then for next week. Congratulations on that third place finish, and best of luck. We will go racing in Richmond.
All right, thanks, Nolan. Thank you, guys.
As Donnie Honeycutt joining us up from third place on the podium. Moving down to our second place finisher of the night. It is Tyler Honeycutt standing by with Dylan Coyle.
Yeah, Tyler, you're one of the 3 lead lap finishers. I know it wasn't necessarily the most exciting race you could possibly have been a part of, but it seemed like nobody had anything for Mike Hayes, but still looking sharp in that GameStop number 3. Take us through that race.
Yeah, thank you guys. I mean, it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't exciting. I was hoping to have more people show up, but people are out of town. But yeah, I messed up qualifying. We'll start with there. Messed it up. I think I got very loose in 1 and 2. Started 6th, which was not ideal. Going on that initial start was pretty good. I had a good jump, and then I saw the 24. Driving pretty crazy on the first lap. And I saw him spin, take out the leaders. And I was hoping, I had Mike, Mike or DJ would have had more damage because they're the top dogs at these tracks. And then the next start, Mike just went by, and I said, "Yep, that's ball game right there." But it was fun. He definitely is the 1.5 mile guy, or however, was it 2 miles, 1.5 miles? Yeah, he's the guy to beat. But I think I stayed with them pretty good in that first run, about 2.5 seconds for a long time, and I tried to leapfrog him on that pit stop. I was hoping to be a little bit further ahead, so when it got to like 5 to go, we could have had a nice little battle. But he had a good pit stop, I guess. Only came out about 5 seconds behind me. I really had nothing for him, but it was fun to lead a couple laps there. But that's what it was like from my point of view.
Well, hey, second place is second place and not a bad spot at all. Congratulations, Tyler. And we got the action track next week, Richmond. A little different than 1.5 miles.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
it is.
Congrats. And Nolan, we got our winner coming up.
We certainly do, as Tyler Honeycutt departs for the booth. We'll bring up race winner Michael Hayes. And Michael, it is 2 for 2 here in the second season of the OTSS Xfinity Series season. And I think at this point, to say you're going to be a real threat for that title to take away from Justin LeBlanc is a bit of an understatement, as your look is set to potentially go 3 for 3 in Richmond.
Yeah, it was a long. I wouldn't want to say boring, because it definitely wasn't boring on this track, but it's definitely a long one. But yeah, we were able to come away with it today. I was able to not be as loose as the other guys, I guess.
Of course, the last time around at the Auto Club Speedway, you took that win because of a slightly botched strategy from your Lone Star Racing teammate. This time, though, it was the strategy that turned out in your favor. It completely paid off as you were able to go for the overcut. What was your incentive then to potentially go longer as opposed to some of the other drivers that were stopping right exactly at halfway?
The only reason I pitted a little bit later is because I didn't want to go another 50 laps on that set of tires, so I wanted to go a couple extras, just so I didn't have to go the full 50 again. That's the only reason, though.
Obviously, you had some moments here tonight, particularly on that opening lap where you were sent for a bit of a 360 slide. You're able to recover nicely there. Obviously, though, Richmond, not a track where there's a lot of room for error. What's going to be the plan to get that 99 car through to the end of race number 3 in one piece?
Yeah, I mean, it's a short track, so I mean, you're not super safe anywhere you're on the track, but I mean, just like here, battling for the lead, you're not safe anywhere, so I don't know, it's just trying to know your surroundings and just do the best you can to try to keep it clean.
We'll wish you the best of luck, and we'll see if you can go 3 for 3 in race number 3 of the Richmond Raceway for the OTSS Xfinity Series season. Congratulations on the second race win of the season here, Michael, and we'll wish you the best of luck then rolling into Virginia.
All right, thank you guys.
As Michael Hayes joins us up at the broadcast booth, and for us here, that's about going to be it. Obviously, Dylan, we get set to roll into Richmond 1 week from now. What do you think we can expect? As you mentioned, we get set to go to the action track.
Yeah, I think Richmond is going to lead to a lot more excitement. And I'll say this. This is just a thought and opinion. When you have fields that are of smaller size, you see a lot more success in terms of excitement, in terms of people who put their eyes on the series when it's on short tracks. There's more room, or I should say less room to maneuver. There's more likelihood of contact. I just don't know if 1.5 mile visits are exactly suited for this series. I think we got really fortunate with Auto Club and how well of a race that was in round number 1. But hey, I'm just a commentator.
Well, we'll see if this statement will ring true when we roll out to the Richmond Raceway 1 week from now. For now, though, here from virtual Joliet, Illinois, it is time to say farewell. My name is Ben Nola-Rambo with Dylan Coyle beside me in the broadcast booth. Thank you for joining us here live on Green Flag TV once more for your Thursday night OTSS Xfinity Series racing action. We'll see you all next week when we swing up to Virginia. Be sure to tune in this Saturday as well to the TNGG IL Truck Series as we get set to go racing over in Avondale at the Phoenix Raceway. That was all from us for now. We'll see you all again next Thursday.